You think you know Psalm 23. You've heard it at funerals. You've seen it on greeting cards. You've probably memorized it since you were a child. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. It feels warm, comforting, safe. But what if I told you that its familiarity is the very thing that has blinded you to its power? What if I told you that this psalm is not a gentle poem, but a radical, life-altering declaration of war against fear, anxiety, and lack? What if the most famous psalm in the world contains secrets that most people, even lifelong believers, walk right past every single day? You think you have the comfort of the shepherd, but you're living in a constant state of worry. You think you have his guidance, but you feel lost, confused, and uncertain about your next step. You believe he restores your soul, but you are spiritually exhausted, running on fumes, and closer to burnout than you've ever been. There is a disconnect, a massive gap between the promises you recite and the reality you live. And that gap exists because you have been taught to read this psalm, but you have not been shown how to unlock it. Today, that changes. We're going to uncover the hidden truths embedded in these 6 verses, truths that are not just meant to be read, but to be activated. Because ignoring these secrets has a cost. The cost is a life lived in the shallow end of the faith, a life of constant spiritual struggle, a life where you know about God, but you don't truly walk with the shepherd. And trust me, when we get to the part about the rod and the staff, it's not what you think. It's not a gentle tap. It's a powerful weapon and a tool of correction that might just shock you into a new reality. So stay with me. The problem is we've domesticated this psalm. We've turned the Lion of Judah into a house cat. We've taken the Good Shepherd, the one who fights off wolves and bears, the one who leaves the 99 to rescue the one, and we've made him into a passive, gentle figure in a stained glass window. This psalm is not a lullaby. It is a blueprint for a supernatural life. It's like being given a smartphone with infinite battery and a direct connection to the creator of the universe, but you only use it as a paperweight. You see its potential. You admire its design, but you never turn it on. You never actually use it for its intended purpose. The theological foundation is this. Psalm 23 is a covenant. It's a declaration of dependence. When David wrote this, he wasn't just writing beautiful poetry. He was a king making a profound statement about his ultimate allegiance. He was saying, "My crown doesn't define me. My army doesn't sustain me. My throne doesn't secure me. The Lord is my shepherd." It's an active choice, not a passive comfort. And the first secret, the one that everything else is built upon, is right there in the first line. The first secret is this: divine. Provision is a consequence of divine lordship. The verse says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Notice the order. It doesn't say, "I shall not want, therefore the Lord is my shepherd." It doesn't say, "Because I have everything I need, I will call him my Lord." No, the declaration comes first, the provision comes second. You must first declare who is in charge. You must first surrender your life, your will, your plans to his leadership. Only then does the promise "I shall not want" become activated in your life. Think of it like this. Imagine you are the child of the wealthiest, most generous person on the planet. This person owns everything, every resource, every property, every currency. As their child, you have access to an unlimited account. There is nothing you could ever need that your father cannot provide. Now, would you spend your days agonizing over how you're going to afford your next meal? Would you lie awake at night riddled with anxiety about the rent? Of course not. Why? Because your focus isn't on the provision. Your focus is on your relationship with the provider. You don't worry about the what. You trust in the who. Your identity as his child is what guarantees your provision. This is the secret. "I shall not want" is not a magic incantation to get more stuff. It is the natural result of being in a right relationship with the shepherd. When he is truly your Lord, your shepherd, then lack becomes a logical impossibility. But let me ask you a question. Be honest with yourself. Right here, right now, does your life reflect this truth? When you look at your bank account, what is your first reaction? Is it peace, knowing the shepherd provides? Or is it a knot of fear in your stomach? When you think about the future, about your career, your family, your health, do you feel a sense of security because he is leading you? Or do you feel a frantic need to control every outcome, to plan for every contingency, to work yourself to the bone just in case God doesn't show up? Your anxiety is a spiritual indicator. It's a flashing red light on the dashboard of your soul, telling you that you have taken your eyes off the shepherd and put them on the storm. It's telling you that you are trying to be your own shepherd, and you're not equipped for the job. You were never meant to carry that burden. But maybe you're thinking, that sounds nice, but my bills are real. My problems are real. My fear is justified. Yes, your problems are real. The Bible never pretends that they aren't. David was hunted by his enemies. Elijah was suicidal with despair. Paul was shipwrecked, beaten and imprisoned. The promise is not the absence of problems. The promise is the presence of a provider who is infinitely greater than any problem you will ever face. The promise is that, even in the midst of the battle, he can and will provide. But he provides for his sheep, not for the goats who want to run their own lives and only call on him when they're in a ditch. So the question isn't whether your problems are real. The question is, who is your shepherd? Is it your job? Is it your bank account? Is it your own intellect and strength? Or is it the Lord? Because whoever you declare as your shepherd is the one you will depend on for your provision, and everything other than him will eventually fail you. It's not a matter of if, but when. If this first secret is speaking to you, if you recognize that you've been living in fear and trying to be your own provider, I want you to just write in the comments, "He is my shepherd." Make that declaration right now. Let it be the first step out of anxiety and into his provision. But this provision isn't just financial. And that brings us to the second, deeply uncomfortable secret of Psalm 23, the secret of enforced rest. The verse says, "He maketh me to lie down in green pastures." Pay close attention to the language. It does not say, "He suggests I take a nap." It does not say, "He invites me to relax if I have time." It says, "He maketh me to lie down." That word maketh implies compulsion. It implies force. It means that sometimes the shepherd knows that you're so stubborn, so driven, so addicted to the hustle and the worry that you will not rest on your own. So he makes you. He will allow circumstances that force you to stop. Sheep are notoriously foolish animals. They will graze until they are lost. They will stand in a field until they are exhausted. They don't know what's good for them. A good shepherd knows that a sheep that never lies down is a sheep that is on its way to sickness and death. Rest is not a luxury. It is a biological and spiritual necessity. So the shepherd will physically nudge the sheep, sometimes even trip it, to make it lie down in the green pasture, a place of nourishment and safety. Let's use a modern analogy. Think of a world-class athlete and their coach. The athlete wants to train 24/7. They believe that more work always equals better results. They push their body to the breaking point every single day. But a wise coach knows that muscle is not built in the gym. It's built during recovery. It's in the moments of rest that the body repairs itself and grows stronger. So the coach will create a mandatory rest day. The athlete might fight it. They might complain. They might feel lazy or unproductive. But the coach, who sees the bigger picture, knows that this forced rest is the very thing that will prevent injury and lead to victory. The coach makes them rest. God is that coach. He is that shepherd. He sees you running yourself into the ground, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. He sees your burnout coming a mile away, and because he loves you, he will intervene. Now let me ask you this, and again, be brutally honest. Have you ever felt like God put you on your back? Have you lost a job that was consuming your life? Have you faced a health issue that forced you to slow down? Have you had a project or a plan completely fall apart, leaving you with nothing to do but stop? What was your first reaction? Did you see it as a punishment? Did you get angry with God? Did you think, why is this happening to me? Or did you consider just for a moment that maybe the shepherd was making you lie down in green pastures, that maybe he was saving you from yourself, that the very thing that feels like a crisis is actually an act of profound love and protection? We live in a culture that worships busyness. We wear exhaustion like a badge of honor. If you're not busy, you're not important. And so we resist rest. We fight it. But maybe you're thinking, I can't afford to rest. If I stop, everything will fall apart. That is the great lie of the enemy, and it is an insult to the shepherd. You're saying that the entire universe rests on your shoulders. You're saying that your frantic effort is what holds your life together, not his sovereign hand. The truth is, your greatest breakthroughs will not come from more hustle. They will come from a place of stillness where you can finally hear the shepherd's voice. He makes you lie down so you can look up. He stops your frantic doing so you can focus on your being his child, being his beloved, being his sheep. The green pastures are a place of nourishment you cannot eat while you're running in a panic. He makes you lie down so you can be fed, so you can be restored, so you can get stronger for the journey ahead. If you have been resisting God's call to rest, if you've been fighting the circumstances he's allowed in your life to slow you down, I want you to type in the comments, I will lie down. Make that commitment to stop fighting his love. And once you are resting, a new secret is revealed. The third secret of the psalm: guided peace is found only in stillness. The next line reads, He leadeth me beside the still waters. This is not a coincidence. The rest comes first. The peace comes second. He makes you lie down, and from that place of rest, he then leads you. He leads you beside still waters. Why still waters? Sheep are afraid of running water. They will not drink from a raging river or a turbulent stream because they fear being swept away. Their wool gets heavy when wet, and they can easily drown. So a good shepherd doesn't lead them to just any water source. He finds a place of quiet, a place of calm, a place of peace, a place where the sheep can drink without fear and have their thirst quenched. Your soul is the same way. You cannot find spiritual refreshment in the chaos of a noisy, hurried life. You cannot hear the voice of God over the roaring rapids of your own anxiety, your own schedule, your own ambitions. He leads you to stillness because it's the only place you can truly drink. Think about a GPS in your car. The GPS gives you turn-by-turn directions to your destination. But imagine you have the radio blasting at full volume. You have passengers shouting in the back seat. You have the windows down and the wind is roaring in your ears. The GPS is still speaking. It's still giving the correct instructions. But you can't hear it. You miss a turn. You get frustrated. You get lost. Was it the GPS's fault? No. The guidance was always there. The problem was the noise. The problem was your environment. You had to turn down the noise to hear the direction. The still waters are God's way of turning down the noise in your life. He leads you to a place of quiet, where his voice is the loudest thing you hear. But let me ask you, where are the still waters in your life? When was the last time you were intentionally quiet before God? Not with a list of demands in prayer, not with the TV on in the background, but truly silent, still, waiting, listening. For many of us, the answer is never. We are terrified of silence. Because in the silence, the things we're running from catch up to us. Our fears, our insecurities, our sins, our doubts. And so we fill every waking moment with noise, with distraction, with busyness. We scroll through our phones, we binge watch shows, we immerse ourselves in work. Anything to avoid the stillness where God is waiting to lead us. But you're thinking, I don't have time for that. My life is chaotic. I have kids, a demanding job. Stillness is a fantasy. This is another deception. The shepherd who created time itself is not bound by your schedule. He can do more in 5 minutes of your focused stillness than you can do in 5 weeks of your frantic activity. Moses found his burning bush in the middle of a workday. David received his psalms while hiding in caves. Jesus found his still waters in the early morning, before the chaos of the day began. If you want his peace, you must make time for his presence. The peace you are so desperately seeking is not on the other side of your to-do list. It is waiting for you beside the still waters. He is leading you there. The question is, will you follow? Will you intentionally carve out a time and a place to be quiet before him? To turn off the noise of the world and tune into the frequency of heaven? If you are ready to seek that stillness, just type "Lead me to the waters" in the comments. Acknowledge your need for his peace, because it's in that place of rest and peace that the next miracle happens. This leads us to the fourth secret. True restoration is a divine act, not a human effort. The verse is simple, but monumentally profound. He restoreth my soul. Again, notice who is doing the action. It doesn't say, I restore my soul. It doesn't say, my therapist restores my soul, or my vacation restores my soul, or my self-care routine restores my soul. All those things can be helpful, but they cannot do what only the shepherd can do. They can patch you up, but only he can make you new. The word restore here means to bring back to an original state, to repair something that is broken, to revive something that is fainting. Your soul gets battered and bruised by life. It gets wounded by sin, by disappointment, by grief, by stress. You can try to fix it yourself. You can try to numb the pain. You can try to pretend you're not hurting. But you're just putting a bandage on a deep internal wound. Only the creator of your soul knows how to truly heal it. Imagine your soul is a complex, priceless grandfather clock. It's been dropped. The gears are bent. The chimes are silent. The hands are stuck. You can get a hammer and some glue and try to fix it yourself. You might even get one of the hands to move a little, but you're more likely to do more damage than good, because you don't understand the intricate mechanics inside. The only one who can truly restore that clock to its original perfect condition is the master clockmaker who designed and built it in the first place. He knows every gear, every spring, every lever. He knows exactly what is broken and exactly how to fix it. God is your soul's clockmaker. He is the only one qualified to perform soul surgery, and he does this work in the green pastures, beside the still waters. He cannot restore a soul that is running from him. He cannot heal a soul that is filled with the noise and chaos of the world. The restoration happens in the place of surrender, rest, and communion. Let me ask you, how is your soul today? Not your body, not your career, not your public image. How is the deepest part of you? Are you weary? Are you broken? Are you heavy laden? Are you just going through the motions, feeling numb and disconnected? That is the definition of a soul in need of restoration. And maybe you've been trying to fix it on your own. You've been trying to think positive. You've been trying to work harder to distract yourself. You've been seeking validation from others to fill the emptiness. How is that working for you? It's exhausting, isn't it? Because you are trying to do the job of the Holy Spirit. You're trying to be your own restorer. The good news is you can stop. You can hand the broken pieces of your soul over to the master craftsman. You can say, God, I can't fix this. I'm tired of trying. I need you to do what only you can do. Restore my soul. That prayer of surrender is the most powerful thing you can do. It is the key that unlocks his healing power. If your soul needs that divine touch today, if you're tired of trying to fix yourself, write "Restore my soul" in the comments. Let today be the day you let the shepherd do his work in you. And once your soul is restored, he doesn't leave you there. He gives you a mission. This brings us to the fifth powerful secret. Your purpose is for his reputation. The verse says, He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. This is one of the most misunderstood lines in the entire psalm. We tend to focus on the paths of righteousness. We think it means God will make us do good things. He will make us moral, and that's part of it. But we completely miss the reason, the motivation, the why. He leads you in the right paths for one ultimate purpose, for His name's sake. This changes everything. It means your life is not about you. Your career is not about you. Your successes, your blessings, your journey. It is all designed to bring glory and honour to the name of the shepherd. He leads you well because he is a good shepherd, and a good shepherd's reputation is tied to the condition of his flock. Think about it this way. If you saw a flock of sheep that were sick, starving, lost and covered in mud, what would you think of their shepherd? You would think he was terrible at his job, incompetent, negligent. His name, his reputation as a shepherd would be mud. But if you saw a flock that was healthy, well-fed, safe and clean, you would say, wow, they must have an amazing shepherd. Your life is a walking advertisement for the quality of your shepherd. When he leads you into blessing, it's to show the world his generosity. When he leads you through a trial with peace and strength, it's to show the world his faithfulness. When he leads you into a path of integrity and character, it's to show the world his holiness. It's all for his name's sake. This is incredibly liberating. It takes the pressure off of you. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to follow the shepherd. His reputation is on the line, so you can be sure he's going to lead you well. He's more invested in your success than you are, because your success points back to him. So let me ask you, are you living for your name's sake or for his? When you make decisions, is your primary motivation to build your own kingdom, your own reputation, your own comfort? Or is it to honour the name of the one you call shepherd? Do you see your job, your family, your relationships as a platform to make you look good, or as a stage to display his goodness? This is a radical shift in perspective. It means that even in the mundane, even in the difficult, there is a divine purpose at play. The way you handle a difficult co-worker is for his name's sake. The way you raise your children is for his name's sake. The way you manage your finances is for his name's sake. Everything becomes an act of worship. But you might think, that's a lot of pressure. I don't want my life to be an advertisement. What if I fail? You will fail. We all do. Peter denied Christ. David committed adultery and murder. The beauty of the gospel is that the shepherd's reputation is not ultimately dependent on the perfection of the sheep, but on his ability to rescue and restore the sheep when they fall. Your repentance brings him glory. Your return to him brings him glory. His grace covering your failure brings him glory. So you are free from the pressure of performance. Your only job is to follow. He will take care of his own name. If you are ready to start living for his reputation instead of your own, type for your namesake in the comments. Make that your new mission statement. But following the shepherd doesn't mean the path will always be easy. And this leads us to the sixth, most famous and perhaps most vital secret. The secret is this: the darkest valley is the place of deepest intimacy. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. This is the verse everyone clings to in crisis. But we often miss the profound truths hidden within it. First, notice it says walk through. It does not say, I build a house in the valley. It does not say, I set up camp in the valley. Valleys are temporary. They are a passageway, not a destination. If you are in a dark valley right now, a valley of grief, of sickness, of financial ruin, of betrayal, you need to hear this. You are passing through. The shepherd is leading you through to the other side. Second, it is the valley of the shadow of death. A shadow cannot harm you. A shadow of a dog cannot bite you. A shadow of a sword cannot cut you. The shadow is scary. It can look terrifying. It can paralyze you with fear. But it is not the thing itself. The shepherd is reminding you that in the darkest places, what you fear is often just a shadow, and the substance of death has been defeated by his resurrection. But the most important part of the verse, the secret that unlocks it all, is the last phrase, for thou art with me. The reason we don't have to fear is not because the valley isn't dangerous. It is. The reason is not because the shadows aren't scary. They are. The reason is the presence of the shepherd. His presence changes everything. In the green pastures the sheep are many, and the shepherd is watching over them all. But in the narrow, dark, dangerous valley, where predators lurk in the shadows, the shepherd draws near. He walks right beside the sheep. His presence is more focused, more immediate, more tangible than at any other time. The valley is where you experience a level of intimacy with God that you will never know on the mountaintop. On the mountaintop, you celebrate His blessings. In the valley, you cling to His being. Let me ask you, when have you felt closest to God in your life? For most people, it wasn't when everything was going perfectly. It was in the hospital room. It was after the phone call with the bad news. It was in the depths of your despair when all you could do was whisper His name. That is the gift of the valley. It strips away everything else you rely on until He is all you have left, and you discover that He is all you ever needed. But you might be thinking, why would a good shepherd lead me into a valley of death in the first place? Because sometimes the only way to get to the higher, richer pastures is through the valley. He is not leading you into the valley to abandon you. He is leading you through the valley to promote you. He is using the valley to teach you to trust His presence in a way you never could in the sunshine. He is forging your faith in the fire of affliction. So if you are in a valley today, stop asking why me and start asking where are you? Look for His presence. Listen for His voice. He is closer than you think. He is right there with you, walking every step. If you are in a valley and you need to be reminded of His presence, just write, "You are with me," in the comments below. Let that be your declaration of faith in the darkness, and in that valley, He is not empty-handed. This brings us to the seventh, and perhaps most shocking secret. The secret is that divine correction and divine protection are two sides of the same coin. The verse says, "Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me." This is a strange verse if you don't understand shepherding. Why would a rod, an instrument of discipline and defense, be a source of comfort? We have a completely sanitized view of this. The rod was a heavy club. It was a weapon. A shepherd used it to fight off lions, bears, and wolves that came to attack the sheep. He would use it to break the legs of a predator. So part of the comfort is knowing that your shepherd is armed and dangerous. He is a warrior who will violently defend you from your enemy. He is not passive. He is not weak. He is your protector. But the rod had another use. It was used for correction. When a sheep would consistently wander off toward a cliff or a dangerous area, the shepherd would use the rod to give it a sharp, painful rap to get its attention and turn it back to the right path. It was an act of painful love. The shepherd knew that the temporary pain of the rod was far better than the permanent destruction of falling off the cliff. This is the part we don't like. We love the idea of God as our protector, but we hate the idea of God as our corrector. But they are the same thing. His correction is His protection. When God allows pain in your life, when He disciplines you, it is not because He is angry with you. It is because He loves you too much to let you wander into destruction. The staff was different. It was a long pole with a crook or a hook at the end. It was a tool of guidance and rescue. The shepherd would use the hook to gently nudge the sheep, to guide them on the path. He would use it to reach down into a ravine and pull a sheep out that had fallen and gotten stuck. He would use it to lift a newborn lamb and carry it close to His chest. So you have the rod, which represents His powerful, sometimes painful, authority and protection. And you have the staff, which represents His gentle, intimate guidance and rescue. And the verse says they both bring comfort. Why? Because they prove that the shepherd is actively engaged. He is paying attention. He cares enough to protect you. He cares enough to correct you. He cares enough to guide you. He cares enough to rescue you. The opposite of this comfort is not pain. The opposite of this comfort is indifference. The most terrifying thing in the universe would be a shepherd who lets his sheep wander off a cliff without trying to stop them. A shepherd who just stands by and watches as a wolf tears his flock apart. That is not our shepherd. So let me ask you, have you been feeling the sting of God's rod lately? Has he been allowing circumstances that feel like discipline? Have you been resisting his correction, calling it punishment and growing bitter? Or can you see it as an act of love? Can you see that he is protecting you from something far worse? And have you felt the gentle pull of his staff? That quiet nudge from the Holy Spirit to make a different choice? That sense of being rescued from a situation just in the nick of time? You need both the rod and the staff. To only want the staff is to want a God who is a friend but not a Lord. To only focus on the rod is to see a God who is a judge but not a father. The comfort comes from knowing he is both. He is strong enough to defend you and loving enough to discipline you. He is holy enough to guide you and gracious enough to rescue you. If you can accept both his protection and his correction, type your rod and your staff in the comments. Acknowledge your need for his complete leadership. Because after the valley comes a shocking reversal and we come to the 8th secret, your vindication will be public. The psalm takes a dramatic turn. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Think about this scene. You have just walked through the darkest valley. You are surrounded by threats, by shadows, by enemies. And what does the shepherd do when you emerge on the other side? He doesn't just give you a scrap of bread and send you on your way. He throws a feast, a banquet. He prepares a table, a symbol of honor, celebration, and abundance. But it's the location of the feast that is so stunning. In the presence of mine enemies. He doesn't eliminate your enemies first. He doesn't hide you from them. He makes them watch him bless you. He makes the very people who mocked you, who betrayed you, who tried to destroy you, sit on the sidelines and watch as he honors you, promotes you, and lavishes his goodness upon you. This is not about revenge. It is about redemption and vindication. It is God publicly declaring, "This one is mine. You tried to curse them, but I will bless them. You tried to bring them down, but I will lift them up. You counted them out, but I have chosen them." It is the story of Joseph sold into slavery by his brothers, who were later forced to bow before him as he sat at the table of honor in Egypt. It is the story of David, hunted by Saul, who had to watch as David was anointed king over all of Israel. It is the ultimate story of Jesus, crucified by his enemies, who are witnesses to the empty tomb and the power of his resurrection. Your greatest moments of victory and blessing are often ordained by God to be a testimony to those who opposed you. So let me ask you this. Are you dealing with enemies right now? People who have wronged you? People who are actively working against you? What is your instinct? Is it to fight back? Is it to get even? Is it to hide in fear? The shepherd's way is different. He says, "Be still, keep walking with me, keep your eyes on me, let me handle them." Your job is not to defeat your enemies. Your job is to follow the shepherd. His job is to prepare the table. And you might be thinking, this has been going on for years. My enemies are winning. I don't see any table being prepared. The preparation happens in private long before the feast is made public. God is working behind the scenes in ways you cannot see. He's arranging circumstances. He is changing hearts. He's setting the stage for your vindication. Do not mistake his silence for inaction. Your valley season is the time of preparation. Keep your character intact. Do not stoop to their level. Trust that the shepherd sees everything, and in his perfect timing he will honor his promise. The table is being set. If you are trusting God for your vindication, if you're choosing to let him fight your battles, type, "He prepares my table" in the comments. Release your enemies into his hands. And finally, we come to the 9th secret, the capstone of it all. The secret is this: his goodness is not a reward you earn, but a pursuer you cannot escape. The final verses read, "Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever." The word "follow" here is a weak translation. The original Hebrew word is much more aggressive. It means to pursue, to chase, to hunt down. This is not a passive, gentle following. This is a relentless pursuit. God's goodness and mercy are not just waiting for you if you happen to walk in the right direction. They are actively hunting you down every single day of your life. When you wake up in the morning, His goodness and mercy are already waiting for you. When you stray from the path, they are chasing after you to bring you back. When you are in the valley, they are pursuing you through the shadows. When you feel like you have failed beyond repair, His mercy is relentlessly hunting you down to tell you that you are forgiven. Think of a heat-seeking missile. It is locked onto its target. It doesn't matter if the target swerves or dives or tries to hide. The missile adjusts its course and continues the pursuit. You are the target, and God has launched 2 missiles of His grace at you, goodness and mercy. You cannot outrun them. You cannot hide from them. They will find you. This is the security of the sheep. It's not based on your ability to follow perfectly. It's based on His commitment to pursue you relentlessly. And what is the result of this divine pursuit? And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. This isn't just about heaven. To dwell in the house is a Hebrew idiom for intimate, unbroken fellowship. It means that because His goodness and mercy are always chasing you, you can live in a constant state of His presence, His safety, His family. You're not a visitor in God's house. You are a resident. You belong there forever. So let me ask you, one last time, do you live like you are being pursued by goodness? Or do you live like you are being pursued by disaster? Do you wake up expecting God's favor to find you? Or do you wake up expecting something to go wrong? Your expectation is a form of faith. And if you are a sheep of the Good Shepherd, you have every right to expect His goodness and mercy to hunt you down today and tomorrow and every day after that. It's your inheritance. It is your covenant right. If you receive this truth, if you believe that His goodness and mercy are chasing you right now, I want you to make one final declaration in the comments. Type, "I am pursued." Now we have walked through these 9 secrets: provision, rest, peace, restoration, purpose, presence, protection and correction, vindication and pursuit. You have heard the truth, and now comes the moment of decision, because hearing these things and doing nothing is the most dangerous spiritual state you can be in. It's the state of King Saul. God chose Saul, God anointed Saul, God gave Saul direct instructions through the prophet Samuel. Saul had everything he needed to succeed, but he practiced partial obedience, he obeyed when it was convenient, he listened to the voice of the people instead of the voice of the shepherd. He was told to utterly destroy the Amalekites, but he saved the best sheep. He saved the king, he did most of what God said, but partial obedience is disobedience. And what was the result? The Spirit of the Lord departed from him. He became a man tormented by fear, jealousy, and paranoia. His kingdom was stripped from him and given to another, to a man after God's own heart, a shepherd king named David. The danger of ignoring the shepherd's voice is not that he will shout louder, it's that he might stop speaking. The danger is a slow fade into spiritual numbness, where you still go to church, you still say the right words, but inside you are empty. The connection is gone. The red flags are clear when your prayer life becomes a chore, when you start justifying sins you used to hate, when you feel a growing distance between you and God, but you have no urgency to fix it. That is the path of Saul, and I am telling you with all the love and urgency in my heart, do not walk down that path. It leads only to ruin. But here is the good news. It is not too late. Your story does not have to end like Saul's. The shepherd is calling you back right now. His staff is reaching out to rescue you. His rod is ready to defend you. The table is being prepared. His goodness and mercy are pursuing you even in this very moment. So what do? It's simple. There are 3 steps. First, you repent. That word doesn't mean to feel bad. It means to change your mind, to turn around, to stop walking in your own way and start walking in His. It is a decision. Second, you pray. Not a formal religious prayer. Talk to Him, honestly. Tell Him where you have failed. Tell Him you want to make Him your shepherd in truth, not just in name. Ask Him to restore your soul. Third, you obey. Listen for the next small instruction, the next gentle nudge of His staff. Maybe it's to apologize to someone. Maybe it's to open your Bible. Maybe it's to finally rest. Whatever it is, do it. Take the next right step. This is your moment. Right here. Right now. This is not about tomorrow or next week. The shepherd is calling your name today. The choice is yours. You can continue to be your own shepherd and live in the anxiety and struggle that comes with it. Or you can surrender fully and completely to the good shepherd who laid down his life for you. If you are making that choice today, if you're turning around and placing your life in his hands, I want you to make one final public declaration. This is your line in the sand. In the comments below right now, type these 5 words. The Lord is my shepherd. Declare it, believe it, and watch as he begins to lead you into the abundant life he has always promised.